The MLB 2023 season is inching closer and closer every passing day, and since the 10-year anniversary of the 2013 MLB draft is only a couple months away, why not revisit it after all? Every MLB draft is fun to watch, especially since in the last couple of years the MLB has started promoting it a lot more, and honestly they're starting to make it a big deal, kinda like the NBA draft. Now, is ours as famous or spectacular as theirs? No, but it's still nice that they're making an effort to make these kids seem like a big deal for their franchise. My favorite part of the draft is to look back at each team's picks and really see what teams got in an amazing player, while others kind of fell flat and didn't turn into the superstars people wish or what they were projected to become. Sometimes teams luck out with an amazing pick late in the first round like Mike Trout, or you get Hall of Famers super late in a draft like Albert Pujols, who got drafted in the 13th round by the Cardinals, or even Nolan Ryan, who was drafted in the 12th round. However, with those hidden gems, there are definitely a lot of scenarios where teams think that they have drafted their next franchise player, but eventually those prospects just don't pan out. And that's just how the draft goes. And in 2013, MLB draft is no different. The 2013 MLB draft is actually quite special, just because it has 3 former MVPs in it, and 2 of them weren't even drafted in the top 25 of their class. The first MVP I want to talk about is one of my favorite players and the new captain of the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge was drafted 32nd in the first round by the New York Yankees, and while he kind of had a rough start to beginning of 2016, he was a guy that batted below 200 average, and honestly only played around 27 games. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't enough to prove how good Aaron Judge was until his infamous 2017 MVP campaign, where some people argue maybe Altuve shouldn't have won it and Judge should have gotten it instead. I don't know, what do you guys think in the comment section down below? But in 2022, he definitely shined and became what the Yankees were missing. It was their next star. They have been missing this type of star since their previous captain, Derek Jeter. In his 2022 season, the dude batted a .311 average and was so close to getting that triple crown. However, Luis Arraez is just a different type of breed of hitters. Aaron Judge could possibly be the best player drafted from this draft if time pursues and he doesn't actually get injured a lot more. But besides Aaron Judge, right, who's that other MVP that fell so far into the draft? And that MVP is actually Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger wasn't talked about a lot because people thought he might not live up to his potential, and honestly, that rookie year shut doubters up. Cody Bellinger, for those that do not know, fell down all the way to the 4th round and was the 124th pick in the draft. Now imagine telling teams nowadays that this kid you let walk became an MVP, a 2-time All-Star, and Rookie of the Year, and he fell all the way down to the 124th pick. Anyways, in Cody's years before his injury, the guy was electric. He was a 40 home run hitter while averaging between a 267 to 305 batting average between his rookie and MVP season. But of course in the 2018 season, his numbers just weren't that good, but somehow he completely turned it around to win his MVP in 2019. And a lot of Dodgers fans consider this guy as a future piece of their franchise. However, of course injuries found their way to ruin his rise to stardom as quickly as they could in his young career. Cody Bellinger hasn't been the same since those seasons, and quickly he has become a subpar player, so much to the point that the Dodgers wanted out of their contract with him and ended up letting him go. It's insane that only 3 years after an MVP season and eventually winning a World Series ring with the franchise, he was just let go. I hope Cody ends up having a revival in Chicago, and honestly I think it gives a reason for Cubs fans to be happy about the 2023 season. Cody Bellinger actually becomes like his peak MVP season. It would be really fun to watch him in Chicago. Besides those 2 MVPs, there was still one left, and it's actually someone that was really high in the draft, and of course I'm talking about Kris Bryant. He was drafted 2nd overall by the Chicago Cubs, and he immediately made an impact in the 2015 Cubs roster. He produced a .275 average, had 26 home runs, an OBP of .369, and a 6.1 WAR all in his first season. Insane for a guy that just became an All-Star and a Rookie of the Year candidate. He ended up of course winning that Rookie of the Year in 2015 on top of getting enough MVP votes to get him 11th in voting. But Kris Bryant's best season was yet to come. In 2016, Kris Bryant became an MVP in his sophomore season. This dude was just overall performing as if he was in the league for years. He batted a .292, had a slug of .554, an OPS of .939, and became a 2-time All-Star on top of that. It was like the perfect season for Kris Bryant. He had 39 home runs and was a huge contributor to the Cubs winning games to eventually lead to their World Series victory. Kris Bryant did help the Cubs enough to get himself his only ring as of today's date in his career. However, after those insane seasons, he slowly turned into just a really good good ball player. He had stints of his MVP numbers in 2018 and 2019, but ever since then he has had his ups and downs. I feel like the 3 players I've listed already still have much left in the tank, and honestly I just find it funny that 3 MVPs came from this draft class. But besides those 3 MVPs, what other players actually came from this draft? Well, there are some notable names like Andrew Benintendi, which seemed like a cornerstone for the future of the Red Sox organization. He was drafted in the 31st round and was the 945th overall pick. This dude fell way too far in the draft, and honestly, the Red Sox kind of got a good deal on this dude. He was a stud type of gold glove player for the Red Sox and honestly put up some really good numbers for them and eventually led to a ring with the Sox. On the topic of the Sox, let's talk about Tim Anderson. He is now their starting shortstop for the White Sox and has put up some really good numbers for his first couple years in the bigs. I will never forget the Tim Anderson walk-off on my Yanks in the legendary Field of Dreams game because, man, what a moment. On the pitching side, John Gray was drafted 3rd overall and was a stud for the Colorado Rockies. Nowadays, he pitches for the Texas Rangers and is just a decent pitcher in the rotation. However, there were definitely some busts in this class as well. The 1st overall draft pick was Appel. He was supposed to be one of the next best starting pitchers, and well, he just wasn't that. He eventually did make his major league debut at 31 years old with the Phillies in 2022, but when he was first becoming a big league pitcher, he pitched to a 6.91 ERA in 83 1/3 minor league innings in 2014 and a 4.37 ERA in 131 and 2/3 innings in 2015. The Astros just couldn't help him get his mechanics down, and because of that, he ended up getting traded to the Phillies. It's good for him because now he has had his MLB debut, and I hope to see him more in the league. The other person was DJ Peterson. He was drafted 12th overall in the 1st round, and well, he was projected to be one of the best bats in this draft class, and he just had such a hard time, especially in single A ball. He just became a career minor league player. In nearly 1,800 plate appearances in AA and AAA, he batted a 252, a 315, and a 418, and is honestly just a journeyman for the minor leagues, unfortunately. There's plenty more in this draft class, like for example Dominic Smith, who was drafted by the Mets and now he plays for the Nationals. He was a highly scouted prospect. In the Mets' opinion, he just didn't pan out with the Mets, so now he's with the Nats. Good for him. On the topic of the Mets, Jeff McNeil was also drafted in the 12th round. Jeff McNeil, as we know, took home the batting average title and just got a really big contract extension from the Mets and seems like a guy that's going to be on the Mets team for a very long time and honestly will retire as a Met. I think Jeff McNeil is just amazing and I'm glad he's on that team. Did I miss anyone in this draft? Let me know in the comment section down below. Who are your guys' favorite picks from 2013? If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 before spring training. Thank you guys for watching. My name is I'm Mitch. I do have a SeatGeek code if you want to use it. It's Jotalks at checkout. Have a good one. Bye.